What's up guys and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Christopher.
And my name is Brady.
And this is Fear of Chucky. We do unboxings and reviews of all things horror. So if you're into horror, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to stay up to date with all the things that we post. In today's video, we're going to be discussing episode 3 of the Chucky TV series titled I Like to Be Hugged. I know we're a little bit late, but we were trying to do a different format here just to avoid any copyright strikes or anything like that, so I hope you still enjoy the video. So, episode 3, I Like to Be Hugged, starts off with Chucky in Jake's room asking him questions on what kind of killer he wants to be or would be. And Jake kind of lets him know right out the gate, look, I don't think I'm a killer. I don't think that's something I'm interested in. And I don't think Chucky's really believing him. I think he believes his manipulation can actually convince him to do the job. Which, let's be honest, Lexi can go after after last episode, for real. She can
I don't know about her. I don't know. And then after that, pan back to Jake at school, and Miss Fairchild is definitely super worried about Jake. She saw what happened at the party, and she is not having it. She has Jake's back. She tells Jake that, he can confide in her with anything, no matter what it is, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like she may come into play later in the series. Maybe we'll get a teacher kill scene. I mean, like we haven't seen that before, but we haven't seen it in 2021, so I'm holding out hope.
One thing I will say about Miss Fairchild as well, I do really like her character. I like that she does stick up for her students. I know, like, growing up, there were maybe a couple teachers that I had throughout my life that actually cared like that. And I appreciate that. But after this incident here with Miss Fairchild, we see Jake rushing off from that confrontation with her. What looks to be he's chasing Lexi on a jog with a knife in his hand, which was really uncomfortable. I honestly thought, watching episode 2 and seeing, Chucky's manipulation at play, I didn't think he would have been successful or even remotely successful. I know, Jake is a troubled teen and has a lot going on, very trauma-filled life. So he's definitely got all the workings to become a killer, and I think Chucky is really feeding off of that, and that's what makes me so uncomfortable, especially in that scene. Seeing him chasing her with a knife out in the open in the middle of the day, that's not okay. Definitely not okay.
The whole show isn't okay.
No, but literally the whole time, every time Jake is out and about, I'm always thinking, like, someone's got to have seen him. Someone is seeing him, he's on camera. Like, there's so many instances I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to come back to get him. And I don't know why, I just really feel for that character. Like, I don't want him to die, or get in trouble. Because, I mean, let's be real, he hasn't killed anyone yet. I mean, he hasn't. So, after this, we come to find out that it actually wasn't Lexi he was chasing. It was Junior. She had actually left her phone, and he was running it back. So there was a little, confusion there. But Jake, when he was about to attack who he thought was Lexi, was actually Junior. You clearly see Junior notice Jake and the knife. So in this moment, like, you see Junior rush back after he basically tells, Jake, you're creepy, get out of here. Goes back to Lexi, gives her phone, and you could tell in this interaction between them that he's honestly really worried and freaked out and doesn't know exactly what Jake is going to do. And I think he actually feels that they are responsible for him acting out that way. The way that he told her, look, you have to apologize and all this other stuff. I think they realize, or he's especially realizing, that the bullying is actually causing something that's not okay. And I think we're going to see a big character shift in Junior throughout the rest of the season. If we don't get all these kids killed, we never know. It's Chucky, so you don't know.
Pan over to the Wheeler house, back at Jake and Junior's. We got Jake just looking around the garage at all the nice, fancy, sharp, shiny tools everywhere.
And whose garage has half of what was in there? I'm
Definitely
like, these
not
are
ours.
all murder weapons. They're not gardening tools. Like, that curved blade that he had, I have
Maybe
no
it's
idea.
common in gardening, but yeah, I'm personally not familiar with
Looks
that.
like a murder weapon to
Yeah,
me.
looks like it should be in a murder cabinet.
And which at this scene where we have the confrontation with Lexi and Jake in the garage, Lexi also sees Jake with this knife, holding it up, behind her back. When she turns around, you see her like look right at it, and she's even, like, Jake, you're looking even weirder than normal right now. Like, you can tell that she's feeling that she's somewhat in danger. She's not, she's still a kid, so she's not fully in that mindset where she feels like anyone could hurt her necessarily, because she seems like, stuck up. And I think that kind of turns the tables for her a little bit too, especially once Jake denies her after she apologizes.
Well, yeah,
denies her what
let's
she
circle
wants.
around there. Yeah, Lexi apologizes to Jake, and I was just asking myself, like, would I accept that apology? And maybe me now, but like transport back to their age? Hell no, that's crazy. But in reality, it's probably just that Lexi doesn't know how to communicate with people since her parents don't communicate with her, so
Right.
At the end of the day, it's a problem Lexi needs to work through for sure.
Yeah. What I got out of that scene when she was apologizing is it felt like she didn't want to be there. She didn't want to be apologizing. You could tell that, and I honestly felt like this may be the first time that she's ever apologized for anything.
That's what it felt like. So if that was the aim, you succeeded.
Yeah, it really did. And I will say about Lexi, her character, the actress that plays her does an amazing job. Like, for their age, I'm honestly super surprised at their ability to convey emotion with their faces. Because in that scene when she was apologizing, when she, like, when the apology starts, it doesn't seem like it's genuine. By the time she gets to the end of it and kind of hears Jake say, like, oh, there was a right way to take it. Like, like, what do you mean? Like, she can see that he was upset about it. She's like, right. I'm sorry, like, and like in her eyes and face, I felt that she was genuinely sorry then. And then, of course, being Lexi, she immediately switches it off and, says she's a social tumor.
Yeah, she said, even though you're a creepy social tumor who's weird AF, and tried to fuck with her at the talent show.
Right.
So, yeah. She said it so fast, too. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So, Jake's in his room. Him and Chucky are talking. He's stabbing the little, thing that's supposed to be Lexi, I guess, and then all the things spill out on the ground. It was interesting for sure. That was the moment where it was like, okay, Chucky is saying he is gonna go ahead and kill Lexi. Yikes, Lexi's really in trouble now. Because I was a little skeptical Jake was gonna go through it, and
Right.
obviously I was correct, but yeah.
I was super worried the whole time, though, that he was. I mean, as much as I wanted her character to die, I didn't want him to be the one to do it. Maybe in some form he was involved, but like not the actual killing. And that's when Chucky says, well, let's just give her what she wants. Like, drop me off.
Poor little Caroline, she just wants a little doll friend,
She wants
And this
Chucky.
one actually talks to her, and what I keep wondering is like, what is Chucky saying to this poor little girl, you know? When Jake goes and drops him off at Lexi's house, and Lexi, of course, has to add before he walks away, but just so you know, this doesn't mean we're friends or anything, even though you're doing me this favor. It's like, oh, right. Well, okay.
And even so, with her remark there, as Jake walks away from the mayor's house after dropping off Chucky, you can see that he has immediate regret in doing what he did, because he knows, you know, Lexi's gonna die at this point. You know, like, he doesn't know who's all gonna die, but he knows people will be hurt. And you can tell immediately from his facial expression that he regretted it. And then we go later on to after, you know, he drops off this doll, he feels that regret. You can see him go over to his to the graveyard where his parents are buried, as well as Charles Lee Ray is buried as well in Hackensack. And you know, he basically confides in them and you know, apologizes, cries, saying, you know, he's sorry for that he's not the person that, you know, he wanted them to be and stuff, because he's truly feeling like he is the one murdering these, you know, Lexi or whoever, at the hands of Chucky, because he brought him there. You know, he told him to do it, and he feels extreme guilt about that, I think. And then jump to the mayor's house.
Yep, and then we're back at the mayor's house. Of course, yeah, we find Caroline. I guess she normally watches Westworld. Crazy. I'm pretty sure that's an adult show. I've been meaning to watch it.
Definitely an adult show.
Nothing but good things about that show. But anyways, yeah, they're watching the news anyways, because Chucky tells this little girl, life is too short. You can tell she's just looking at the TV and she's like wondering what the hell's going on. And I love how in this scene, the newscaster on TV, if you guys caught it, she says, you know, Hackensack has been the safest place for people since blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, are we sure about that? That's about to get all messed up.
Yeah, and I do like that callback to Child's Play, the first movie, 1988. In that scene with the news, like, as soon as I seen it, all I heard was Andy saying, Aunt Maggie, Chucky wants to watch the 9 o'clock news. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many Easter eggs every episode. I'm just baffled. I'm just like, holy crap, it's literally like, it's just parallel. It's crazy.
If you're a fan, I think you'd be pleased.
Yeah, I'm loving every minute of every episode I've seen so far. So I hope you guys are too. So, cut back to the mayor's house. We've got Chucky in the house. We've got a silent disco going on. Now after the whole news scene there, looks like Lexi invited a bunch of friends over, which included Oliver, Devin, Junior. And as they come in, you see Oliver giving her, Lexi, some alcohol, and you can see that Junior is pissed off about it. And during that, you even hear Devin say, like, he's not worth it, she's not worth it. And that just is a weird dynamic there. I'm kind of wondering what's going on there. I know, you know, he's Junior's, like, best friend. They're, like, really good friends. But it's just weird to me that, like, I don't know. If I was in a relationship, I don't think I would be okay with my friends dogging who I was with. So that was just a weird kind of moment there. I was just like, huh. Which, I mean, I get it, because Lexi's literally being...
Right, but if you saw one of your good friends in a relationship with Lexi's character, I'm sure anybody would say anything, in my opinion. You know, at least
But my thing is, like, it's a show, it's scripted, so there was a reason it was in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's the reason, like, other than Lexi's a bitch, you know? Like, other than that, what is it? But anyway, that's just a little side note there. And at that point, we have Chucky in action. We have a silent disco going on.
We got Lexi singing a lullaby to her little sister. That was sweet.
It was very sweet. And I will say that song has been stuck in my head ever since this episode aired. Literally. Every day, it's stuck in my head. I can't stand it. It's a good song, but I'm just like, okay, new song now, please.
And then, of course, gotta tuck her in, and then she's snug as a bug, and then so is Chucky.
That was like probably my favorite line of the whole series so far. Snug as a fucking bug.
Yeah, made me laugh pretty hard.
Absolutely adorable too when he gets up and his little arm is trying to push off the comforter off of him. I thought it was adorable.
Yeah, and at that point, they're all dancing around, having a good time. Of course, Lexi's dancing with Oliver again, and then, Junior gets jealous, they start dancing, Oliver goes upstairs, and then Lexi goes over to the fridge and is looking for stuff in there, and then all of a sudden, Caroline's out right next to her saying, "Where'd Chucky go?" And it's like, oh, here we go, starting now. And, at that point, she, I think, just tells her go back to bed, and then Caroline's just kind of off back in bed. They're all doing their thing. Lexi's looking around for this doll, and then she goes back to check on Caroline after checking for Chucky, and she's asleep. She's like, oh yeah. And then she goes back to her room, and she sparks up a joint, and she's starting to smoke, and she looks like she's high or something.
Well, pause there for a second.
Yeah,
you
maybe I
about
missed
left
something.
a huge...
I probably missed something
huge scene here. During the time Lexi is looking around for Chucky, Chucky is also looking for Lexi.
Right.
And as he's looking for Lexi, Oliver walks out of a room. He mistakes Oliver for Lexi and ends up stabbing him in the leg. Then you see this hysterical moment of Chucky like, oh shit, like realizing what he did. And then he's just like, fuck it. And kills Oliver right there on the top of the staircase with all the kids down below. And honestly, I loved it.
Which we all were thinking it. If you've seen this episode already, we all thought it. That stabbing scene was pretty funny because it was obviously fake, but like,
I will say,
a kid, I'm not sure how that works with filming, but I'd want to be safe too, so I'll take it,
Yeah, I will say that, it was obviously a little comical with the stabbing, clearly seeing it not going in him, but Chucky's facial expression during that murder, along with Oliver's screams and how many times Chucky was stabbing him, made it extremely disturbing for me anyways.
Yeah.
Even though it was kind of comical, it was still really disturbing. I almost wanted to look away. And that doesn't really happen. But I guess I haven't really seen Chucky kill
a kid.
Kids. Like teenagers, yeah, which these are teenagers, but they're young teenagers. Like in Child's Play 3, we had 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and in a military school. So that was different.
Yeah.
Here, they're, middle school, little kids, and with their little baby faces, and it's just, it was scary to me. I honestly felt uneasy, and
the whole show makes me feel uneasy, but it's kind of a horror show, so I think it's doing its job, right?
Absolutely. Oh, also, we didn't mention throughout this episode as well, we do have flashbacks to Charles Lee Ray when he was a kid.
What was it, 1965? Hackensack?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And
or 62, don't quote
the
me.
60s.
Don't quote me.
The 60s. And we see a young Charles Lee Ray. You just get clips throughout the episode, but it basically leads up to his first kill.
Right.
Which ends up turning out to be his own mother. And that was truly disturbing as well. I am kind of glad they didn't I don't know, maybe I would have liked to have seen more, during that whole flashback story there. Because, it doesn't really show Charles, like, doing his first kill or anything like that.
Well, again, back to the production, and also since this is a TV show, I just feel like maybe there were some precautions they took and things like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that little kid has, a future as an actor, so
well,
maybe they didn't want to, I don't know.
Well, that kid was already in another horror movie, I believe, called
really?
The Prodigy or something, and he was like
Too
some
late
kind of
for him.
crazy demon child or something. So, yeah, he's used to it. He could kill his mom.
But yeah, so it wasn't until like after I saw the episode, really processed it, I was like, oh shit, so they're really telling us that his first kill was his mom. Chucky is more messed up than we ever thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I did hear that there was a Child's Play book that was written after the movie, back in like 1990, I think. And in that book, I'm pretty sure it goes into Charles Lee Ray's backstory a little bit, and it does, I believe, in that book as well, say that he killed his mom, which we've never known that would be canon at all, because it wasn't written by Don Mancini or any of the creators. It was written by someone else. But it seems like Don maybe thought that was good enough, and he liked the idea, so he went with it.
Definitely adds an element to Chucky's character we didn't know before, makes him even worse than he was, so, in my mind.
After we get this flashback scene, we kind of go to see Chucky on his last hoorah here, trying to get Lexi in the house after he's already committed murder once with Oliver.
Back to my story. I'm skipping all over the place because I'm ADD, of course. And back to Lexi. She's just smoking her joint in her room, being high, and then all of a sudden she looks over at the curtain and she sees some shoes. Little good guy shoes. Only one little doll could be wearing those. She checks over the curtain. Nothing. Just the shoes. That's weird. All of a sudden she's just like hitting it, and then boom! Strangled with some sort of necklace or something.
Yeah, it was her necklace that she had on. He ends up, which is also there was a foreshadowing at the beginning of the episode. Whenever Chucky is like talking to Jake at the beginning, asking him, what kind of killer he wants to be and everything, he mentions that, he can't strangle anything with his hands, his little Chucky doll hands. Which was a foreshadow to this encounter with Lexi, because that's precisely what he does. He has a knife in his hand, but he gets carried away. He jumps on Lexi's back. We have the kicking Chucky, which is one of my favorite Chuckies out of all of them. Every time we see that, I get super excited. I just love how it looks. He drops the knife during the struggle, and then you get Lexi actually realizing that it's the doll who's attacking her, and we get some great horror screams out of her. Like,
some great horror screams from her. Chucky's just laughing his head off, like
insane. Like, those were some of the best Chucky laughs that I've ever heard.
I
was scared. Like, the laugh actually made me scared, and I'm someone who loves Chucky. Like, I'm not scared of Chucky, and I felt like, oh my god, that's scary.
Yeah, there's something about that laugh that just screams, I'm laughing insanely. I don't know, but you did it, Brad Dourif. Again, for what? The bajillionth time? Like, oh my gosh, good job to everyone who worked on the Chucky TV show.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm loving every bit of it. But yeah, so once, we've got the kicking Chucky, dropping the knife, she ends up being able to sling him off of her, and then the episode ends with Chucky being surrounded in flames and laughing.
And then the fire just goes all along the banister down to where the kids are dancing, so you can tell the whole house is starting to catch on fire. So it's like, what's next, That's what I want to know. Are these kids all about to die? Is Chucky about to die as well? What's going on? We all know he's not going to die. I don't know why I said that.
He always comes back, even if he does die. So
yeah.
Plus we know there's multiple Chuckies.
Chucky's pulling that whole, I don't know if you guys have seen the Harry Potter series, but Voldemort splits his soul into all these little things. It's essentially what Chucky's doing. He's splitting his soul into all of the dolls. So who knows how many little Chuckies are running around with a fragment of his soul in it.
Very true.
Evil.
But yeah, so we absolutely loved it. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the episode. Just drop them down in the comments below. Let's get a conversation started. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and until next time.
Peace.
Peace.